So to start off with, you're going to stick your name central on your garment, and then we're going to use chain stitch for the name. So you bring the needle through the fabric, we're leaving 3 or 4 inches on the reverse that we'll use to tie off later. Then you bring the needle back down through the same hole. So needle through the hole, bringing it a stitch length forward, I'm hooking the yarn over. As you can see, I'm holding the yarn taut with my thumb to the one side. So putting the needle down through the same hole, bringing it up a stitch length forward and hooking the yarn over. And you just repeat this process following the lines on the paper. Here we have a little close-up. So needle through the same hole, a stitch length forward, and ensuring that yarn is hooked over. And I personally find it really helpful just to hold that yarn out of the way with my non-needle hand, just like this. That ensures that you have tension in the stitches and also just makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to hook it over. Here we've come to the end of our yarn, so I'm just doing a single stitch to poke the yarn through, and then I'm starting a new piece of yarn, again leaving that little tail at the end, and I'm coming through the last stitch that I made. And then you just continue the chain as you were previously. Now here we're going to show what happens when you need to suddenly change direction with your yarn, which can sometimes cause it to kind of curve up at the edges. So going to the top of the letter N, and then I'm finishing the line here. So I'm poking the needle through and pulling it taut. And then I've brought the needle back through the same stitch in the opposite direction. And as you can see, we've got that little anchor stitch at the top of the letter N, which is just stopping that yarn pulling over. And you're just going to continue doing this simple chain stitch following the lines on the paper. And I tend to move the garment and change the direction of the garment as I'm stitching. Just as you can see here, just rotate the garment and then keep following on those lines. Now when you come to the end of your letters, so here we're just going to do the final couple of chain stitch. So needle through the fabric, hook that yarn over, and then we're going to put the needle through to the back of the fabric just with a little anchor stitch. Now you're going to see how to join up the letters. So as you can see, I've left a tail of yarn where I've needed to start a new letter. Then I just go back, simply thread the yarn through the needle and poke it in to the letter next to it. And then to tidy up the reverse of the garment, where I have 2 pieces of yarn right next to each other, I just tie those with a simple knot, cut off the excess like this, or I decide to back stitch, going through the reverse of the chain. So just do 3 or 4 stitches just bringing that yarn on the reverse of the fabric through the back of the chain stitch and cut that off. And then lastly, for the eye, we're just going to do a couple of little lazy daisy stitches, which you'll see here just looks like a heart once finished. Rinse your garment under cold water to remove the paper.